Welcome to the first Space to Be of 2023. It is wonderful to see you again, and I do hope you've kept well during the cold spells of winter. The season of the new year has passed. Any New Year resolutions may have run the test of time, but each day is a new beginning, and here we are, travelling through Lent, or as I like to see it, God's springtime. There may be some spring cleaning to do, though, along the way. It is a common turn of phrase to speak of walking across the threshold into the new year or new season. As I approached Lent, I spent some time asking God to give me a word to live by as we travel towards Easter. Gradually, he nudged me towards the word trust, confirmed when I heard the following words from Revelation 21. Behold, I am making all things new. We are in the middle of a cost of living crisis, a terrible European war, and we have recently witnessed the worst natural disaster this century in Turkey and poor Syria, already ravaged by civil war. Our hearts may feel as cold and hard as the icy days of winter. We may feel like hibernating physically, mentally, and spiritually. But when the sun does shine and the sky is clear blue, many people love to give their full attention to the garden, where joy bursts through the soil in the form of a crocus or a daffodil. The air is heavy with the scent of daphne or shrubby honeysuckle. We are assured that even if we do not feel it or see it, God is still at work within us, transforming us, just as he is at work in nature in the depths of winter, transforming everything for spring. The story of the resurrection of Lazarus is a powerful and compelling illustration of the words, "Behold, I am making all things new." The account begins with a scene full of human distress and sorrow. We are told that when Jesus arrived in Bethany, he wept at the fact his dear friend had died. He was too late to say goodbye. He wept to see the grief etched on the faces and in the words of Mary and Martha, Lazarus's devoted sisters. And yet, Jesus had faith and trust that God would bring Lazarus back to life. After the stone was removed from the burial site, the stench of death must have overwhelmed the small crowd of mourners. Moments pass, and then the onlookers would have been terrified to see Lazarus stumble out, still clad in grave clothes. Can you imagine the scene? Can you imagine hearing the music of the words, "Behold, I am making all things new"? I wonder what Lazarus felt.
No, there is not a thing he can remember of how it felt inside the tomb, or anything belonging to that dead season. Only the noticing, as he woke up, of memory whited out, the memory of unboundedness, of the last moment of dark sickness. Breathing is pleasure, breathing the goodness of wind at the cave's mouth, listening to his tongue's surprise as it comes to itself again, eating bread at the table. He knows that what he died of was familiarity, the same old things day after day. But now there is more than sound in the noises around him. Feelings feel more, taste tastes more, smelling is more than smelling. He cannot hold back the smile, standing at the back door, watching the boundlessness of the almond tree whiting out the yard.
I wonder if any word or phrase or image struck a chord with you. The last two lines of Euros Bowen's poem brought back a memory for me. Many years ago, I spent several weeks in hospital following a car accident. Eventually, the doctors decided that their miraculous work was done, but I still required a spell of rehabilitation. So I was transferred to another hospital. As the kind volunteer driver drove out of the main entrance of the hospital, I gasped at the startling sight of a dozen cherry trees in blossom. I asked the driver to drive around the roundabout again because I felt I had never seen anything so beautiful and I wanted to drink in the scene. The cherry trees are sadly long gone, but I will never forget that sight, reminding me of those words, "Behold, I am making all things new." Michael Main was Vicar of Great St Mary's, Cambridge, and then Dean of Westminster Abbey. Towards the end of his life, he wrote a series of letters to his grandson, published in his book, The Sunrise of Wonder. I would like to read an extract now. Living each moment as it comes is the only way to live with trust. It is a grateful receiving and giving attention to what is before my eyes, a giving myself fully to this present moment because it is and because I am. I have never seen this day before, all it contains, and I shall never see it again. Nor will I ever again be exactly this self I am now. It is quite literally the only way we can know God, in the here and now, and by living this moment fully. It is also, of course, the only hope we have of ever changing how we are, with the possibility of redeeming the past or affecting the future. This is the day that the Lord has made, says the psalmist. Let us rejoice and be glad of it. Lent often heralds a period of spiritual pruning. God's pruning action can heighten our awareness. I wonder if you can identify with this. After pruning, the eyes see everything afresh. The colours and textures seem brighter and more defined. The ears relish the sounds of the natural world, and the heart is full of loving attentiveness to those around us. We can trust that a season of pruning will help us to see that God is making all things new. Jesus used the metaphor of pruning a vine to illustrate our need to remain close to the source of our being, the love of God. Sometimes our lives become fragmented, like an overgrown vine, and we need to prune some of our activity. We need to trust that we remain in God's love, and He is closer to us than our breath. You may like to join me now in a short exercise. Place your hand on your heart and repeat the words based on John 14. You remain in me, and I remain in you. You remain in me, and I remain in you. You remain in me, and I remain in you.
God knocks at my door, seeking a home for his son. Rent is cheap, I say. I don't want to rent, I want to buy, says God. I'm not sure I want to sell, but you might come in to look around. I think I will, says God. I might let you have a room or two. I like it, says God. I'll take the 2. You might decide to give me more someday. I can wait, says God. I'd like to give you more, but it's a bit difficult. I need some space for me. I know, says God, but I'll wait. I like what I see. Maybe I can let you have another room. I really don't need it that much. Thanks, says God. I'll take it. I like what I see. I'd like to give you the whole house, but I'm not sure. Think on it, says God. But I can't tell you about that. You'll have to discover it for yourself. That can only happen if you let me have the whole house. A bit risky, I say. Yes, says God, but try me. I'm not sure. I'll let you know. I can wait, says God. I like what I see.
Do we take the risk of letting God into our space and being a part of us? This involves trust. And what does it mean to trust? It is not a spiritual practice or a psychological process in and of itself. Trust involves a relationship. Julian of Norwich, who showed great depths of trust, is famous for her saying, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." But this is followed by a less well-known reflection. For there is a force of love moving through the universe that holds us fast and will never let us go. Let us ponder some words from Psalm 139.
O God, you trace my journeys and my resting places, and are acquainted with all my ways. Indeed, there is not a word on my lips, but you, O God, know it altogether. You press upon me behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? Even there your hand will lead me, and your right hand hold me fast.
God's love holds us fast. We may fail, we may fall, but God is always there to pick us up. We may suffer, but God is there to hold us. We will die, but God's love will carry us home. As we travel through the remaining days of Lent, may I encourage you to hold a special word in your heart, perhaps the word trust. May we balance the negative words and bad news which infiltrate our lives with trust. Trust in the universe, other human beings, our own worth and abilities, knowing that we are encircled and held fast in God's love. So let us move forwards towards our time of stilling and silence. God comes to us most powerfully when we are silent before him. Let us settle ourselves. find the most comfortable position for your body. Let us focus on our breathing. Each of us has a different rhythm to our breathing, and our own bodies will teach us the most comfortable timing of breaths. Relax your limbs and just pay attention to your breathing. Behold, I am making all things new. Behold, I am making all things. Behold, I am making. Behold. Be.
God of day and night, of frost and sunshine, of rest and growth, we praise you for the rhythms and patterns of life, for the gentle dying of each season and the coming of the next, for the wonder of new life in all its forms, and the quiet flowing of youth into age. Give us eyes and hearts to perceive you in the unfolding of our years, and help us in this season of Lent to make more space for you, the giver of it all.
It has been wonderful to share this evening with you. Thank you very much for coming to Space to Be. And I hope that this session will lead you forwards happily, trustfully, peacefully through the remaining days of Lent and on to Easter and the resurrection. Good night.